Hello, everyone. We're just going to wait for like a minute or two to make sure that people can hear us. And so if everyone can hear us, just let us know in the comments maybe or anything else. Okay. Okay, we're live. Um, okay, great. Welcome back, everyone, to the B2B Growth and GTM webinar series. Tonight is session number 2 out of 5 sessions that we have in the series up until now. So last week, Owen walked us through how to build a repeatable GTM system, which is all about the foundation of using AI and GTM and sales. Tonight is more about what happens to that system in like 12 months, because the most well-built revenue engine in 2024 looks almost unrecognizable from the one being built here in 2026. So 3 years ago, AI was like a productivity feature. It became, but like a year ago, it became a skill. Tonight, we're going to talk about what comes next. AI as the operating system for commercial teams. So, what automation absorbs, what human judgment depends, which roles disappear, and which roles get rewritten. So, this is not a really a hype session. This is an operator grade conversation about what commercial leaders in the MENA region should be building this quarter and um, to still be relevant in the next year. So, our guest tonight is one of the most prolific voices in the world of AI and the future of sales. He is the author of 5 best-selling books, most recently Agentic Revenue Systems and How Autonomous Execution Redesigns the Modern Revenue Organization, and the Single-Handed Unicorn as well. So he has delivered keynotes to over 250,000 people all over 5 continents so far, and he is recognized by Thinkers 360 as one of the top 10 thought leaders in both agentic AI and sales globally. Tim, welcome to the series.
Hi, Tara. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I'm more than happy to be here and to talk about this passionate topic with you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Thank you so much for coming. Um, so I asked the other day the people that we have in the B2B growth community, what are you guys interested in? And I gave them a couple of maybe like 5, 6 choices about revenue leadership, GTM systems, AI in sales and business development. And it was one of the very highly voted scores to for one of the most favorite subjects for people we have in the community is AI. So I think people who are with us tonight will be interested to listen to what we have to say in our webinar tonight. So let's start with 2026 specifically, Tim, and what is different about how AI is changing GTM and revenue systems this year, and what you were predicting back in 2023 or 2024. What did everyone get wrong?
Yeah, what it is changing sales so fast and tremendously. And for me, the most important part here is it changes how we design sales workflows, sales processes. So it changes our roles as sales leader, as sales representatives,
Mhm.
anybody in sales. Is becoming new roles, and where we before where we're designing sales. Right now, we have to put AI into the workflows and design the work around it. And for me, and this is, we've talked about it in our preliminary talk, this is the most
Mhm.
important point. AI will not replace us in sales. It just gives us a huge lever to do our work better and with more fun maybe, and it helps us to free a lot of time to be there where we are, where we can do the magic in sales. I'm a sales guy myself. I've been in sales for the last 26 years, and for me sales is talking to people and building relationships, and I see a lot of tedious tasks, technical tasks all around it, filling in CRM systems, writing monologues and in follow-up emails. And this is not sales itself. I think AI is here to put us in this place again and to help us to free our time to drive more revenue and to be more successful as a go-to-market team, because the AI is doing the heavy lifting and we can concentrate on building the relationships. And I would like to talk about with you tonight about all
Mhm.
the stages in the sales funnel, in the customer journey, where AI actually can help us to reduce the burden of work and to free that time maybe. And
Aw-
then, if we are
Awesome.
looking more in the future, of course, when it's getting more and more agentic, and then our roles maybe shift some more, and our personal or human judgment is asked, and the machine is handling a lot of communication for us, but we as humans have to build the
Mhm.
trust to our clients, and we need our common sense judgment, because the AI still produces some hallucinations and still goes wrong sometimes. And so we have to be very careful, and especially when it comes to automate customer-centric processes.
Great. So I cannot agree more. It's just like, let's take this step by step. I think this is one of the things that our audience here today is very interested to listen to from your perspective as someone who's been interested in this line of work for quite some time. Let's examine like the B2B sales process, like step by step, as you were just saying, the sales funnel, and how AI can actually accelerate the process without losing the human touch. As you know, especially in B2B, especially in the Middle East, it's all about relationships here. Um, Even more so than maybe Europe or the US. Here we're very relationship based, so here the human touch is very, very important, even so more than any other areas in the world. So I want to listen to this like from your perspective. How do you see AI adding ROI and actually doing adding value, not having the worst side of it, which is hallucination in the B2B sales process that can impact trust in a negative way. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I would argue that if when relationship building is the most important part, and as you said, and I'm convinced, and I know
Mhm.
this personally, that in the Middle East that is the case, then you need more AI than anybody else, because relationship building is time consuming and you need a lot of time. So first of all, you would like to assure that you're talking to the right people. So relationship building with the wrong people is really, yeah, it's time consuming, and if you're going in the wrong direction, this is not good. So let's begin there. So AI is here to identify the right leads and to qualify them, and this is really astonishing. And maybe I will show a very simple example right now. If you
Mhm.
use a tool like Perplexity. AI,
Mhm.
and I like it a lot. It's a research tool, and for me, it hallucinates less than other tools. The name is quite bad. I remember still some 20 years ago, a friend of mine called me and said, "Oh, Tim, I've found something like Yahoo, but it's way better. It's called Google." And then somebody told me from of Perplexity, some 2.5 years ago, and I said Perplexity. Well, what's that name? Okay, but it's quite good, and for research and sales as well. And it also gives you the triggers for that lead. For instance, yes,
Mhm.
maybe I would like to. I will show it
Sure.
if you would like to do me so. Okay,
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
so just give me, can you give me a name of a company that would be a lead for you, let's say?
Okay. One of the top companies, uh, Aramco. It's one of the biggest companies here in the Middle East.
Um, Aramco. Okay, Saudi
Aramco.
Aramco.
Yeah.
Aramco. Okay. Um, So you would go to perplexity.ai. You can also use the free version. It hasn't to be the pro version. The pro version
Mhm.
is less limited. So when you experience the value in it, you might pay for the pro version. So please research the background of Aramco. Aramco, where do they have challenges? Do they have challenges in the field of GTM and sales and innovative
Okay.
sales right now?
Okay.
So, and normally it's quite fast. So we will see the first results. And here you see the first agentic. It is thinking. So this is agentic AI. Thinking, quote unquote, means that the agent in the background is thinking about
Hmm.
the steps to accomplish this task. So this is really important, and it helps here. And it takes more time than I've expected. So
That's
maybe
okay.
we'll. Okay. Um, because the point here I want to make is that the AI gives you actually the person who would buy and also the trigger points, so when they're most likely to buy. And so therefore I ask for the challenges and hurdles in innovative sales right now.
Hmm.
Okay. So
But it must be pulling a lot of information from a lot of
okay,
different
it's a
sites.
lot of information. So we
Yeah.
might, okay, so we might keep
No.
on
Let's
talking about,
see.
okay, there it comes right now.
There we go.
And so about classic lead generation, background in brief. Okay, so we all know this, but it's quite interesting. They're commercializing low carbon. Okay, so you got a lot of information here, really, really comprehensive. And you could ask as a follow-up, I won't do this right now, but you could ask as a follow-up, who is the most likely buyer for me in that company? So the point
Okay.
I want to make here is this saves you hours and hours in the week because research is the most important point in sales. If you're going after a new account, you need to know who they are and where you can deliver value. And before that was quite extensive research. Maybe your sales assistant did this research for you, but now the
Hmm.
AI does it uh, in the same moment. So you can prepare for it. You can ask
Hmm.
the machine for who is the right lead, the right contact person for me, who is the role, and also for names and contact data. So you can prepare easily for outreach or whatever you're going to do with this information. Maybe you're sending an email or you phone them or you send them a LinkedIn message, or even
Hmm.
if you know you will encounter them on the next fair, on your booth or on the fair, you can
Hmm.
prepare for the meeting quite well.
Yeah, I can totally agree, and I can totally relate to that because one of the workflows that I find very useful every day in the morning is kind of like this, but uh, it's on Claude, not Perplexity, um, and it's within a Claude project that already knows what my ideal customer profile is and what my offering is like, my value proposition, positioning, and competition analysis. So it does this. It does not have to wait for me to prompt it. It does it every day, and it gives me a detailed brief on an HTML interactive artifact, and it gives me a very detailed brief. So from my experience, the key here is to just tell it what kind of customers you're targeting, and
Mhm.
as what in addition to that, what are you offering exactly, so that it can do the research from this specific angle. Because if
That's
you ask it to do research, it can go very wide, very the research results can be perplexity. Of course, it's great. It's the top AI and LLM tool when it comes to scientific research, because it's always based on facts. It's always referencing the
yeah, that's
resources that
it.
it brought the information from. So
Yeah, but
spot on.
you're right. The more you train the AI on your data, on your ICP, on your value proposition, the better. And of course, Claude is the next step. And
Yeah.
would you like to share it with us? This would be very
Yes.
interesting.
Sure. Absolutely. So one of the things that
Share.
I have, it's I can do this. I can share the workflow with people here if they want to take a look at it. Let me just bring it in. I did not have this coming, to be honest. Let me just do that right now. Okay, so as you can see here, let me just share the screen really quick. Um, there we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So from my experience, I instead of giving it a detailed prompt every day, I trigger a skill that I built myself. It's called the B2B morning brief. So what this skill does, it's linked to my calendar, my Google Calendar, through an MCP, uh, an MCP, which gives, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or not, but an MCP gives AI external superpowers to be connected to other third-party tools. But what it does, it fetches today's B2B growth strategy meetings, which are the discovery meetings for today, and it brings up the event title, the meeting time, the attendee emails, and the event description. This is the data it pulls from my calendar. And then after it does that, step two is researching each company I have on the calendar for today. So it identifies the company, it does web research about the company, the news, the funding, or the careers, or the leadership team, as well as the people that I have in the calendar, um, that I have in the calendar that I will be meeting with today. And it synthesizes a very detailed brief for each meeting. And what's great here is it synthesizes, or it creates the discovery questions for me. Like, for example, one of my favorite discovery techniques is spend selling. You must be familiar with it: the situation, problem, implication, need, payoff, and so on. So what it does, it's based on the research it did on the company. It gives me detailed questions, customized questions based on the spend selling technique applied on this specific company. So not the generic spend selling questions, the templates of questions that you have in every meeting, which helps me build rapport with with the person that I'm speaking with. So the
Yeah.
result that I get is something like that: an HTML interactive dashboard that tells me what I had a meeting with, who I had a meeting with today, and the recent news, who I'm meeting with exactly. It preps me for the call. It gives me
Hmm.
a suggested agenda and then discovery questions and so on and so forth. And it does this for each one of the meetings that I have. So the final outcome for this is every day in the morning at 9 a.m., I find whenever I try to log on my computer, I have the file ready in front of me. I just open
That's
it and read through the
yeah.
brief. Very
That
specific to the point,
yeah.
and it does that every day, nonstop, without any tiredness. So
That's really amazing, Taha. I've built something similar, and I would like to share it. I
sure,
have it done in make.com. It's a platform in the cloud,
yep,
and so it runs even if my computer is not switched on.
yeah,
And it's a little bit more complicated. I find Claude and Claude Cowork sometimes easier to use. Totally right. I've used in this case Make, and you can easily also build agents in Make. Make works with scenarios,
hmm
and so let us. I have the lead research agent, and this one, what it does is on the background, it I'm sorry, it's all in German. I had a okay,
okay,
sorry, I'm sorry, but
no
I can
worries.
explain it. I had a German workshop yesterday for this. Okay, so I forgot. This is the connection to my Google Calendar. And when there's a new entry, so when a new lead comes in, normally they make an appointment with me using my electronic calendar and make an appointment on Google. And when a new entry is there, then it is fetched and delivered to ChatGPT to cut the domain. And then Perplexity researches all the background of that company and all their challenges and hurdles. And then this is matched in this OpenAI ChatGPT module with my profile, just the same you do with your
Mm,
background. And this also suggests some questions for me, and it tells me the arguments where I can deliver the most value for them in the meeting, and it
ah,
puts this back into the description of the calendar. And so what I normally do is 2 to 3 minutes prior to a meeting, I enter the meeting details on my calendar, and I go through it, and I know exactly where they're standing, who I'm talking to, and what I should mention to trigger them for the next step, let's say.
great, awesome, awesome. I usually do this in, of course, to for the audience that are listening to us today. If you guys want to make use of make.com, which is a very good, by the way, automation platform. Um, it's great. You can totally do that on Make, but it might require some experience when it comes to dealing with automation platforms.
Yeah,
So
it is
and
low code, low
absolutely,
code. Yeah, definitely.
exactly. So the problem with the workflow that I showed you earlier when it comes to Claude, it requires the device to be always on. You cannot turn it off. If you turned it off, it's not going to work. So,
Yes.
but in your case, it's going to work 24/7, no matter what, because it's also running on the cloud. So
Yeah.
this is much
Uh,
better.
Yeah, but I would like to add there because I work as well a lot with Claude Cowork on my machine, and I like this connection to my Gmail and to my calendar because you can chat directly. And oftentimes and this is not a routine, this is a routine I have myself. I just ask Claude,
Mm.
please take a look at my emails. Have I forgotten something in the last
Oh,
5 days? And it tells me exactly, oh yes, Tim, there's an opportunity you haven't answered by now, and you should. Or there's an inquiry you haven't follow up with, something like this. This is quite amazing, and it's really, really easy to connect Claude to your email. You can use Gmail and also Outlook as well.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, it's the way it's built. The context window and the memory is huge. It's much bigger on than ChatGPT, which enables it through the MCPs to do that kind of stuff, which is amazing. And by the way, we have Claude, and we have another platform called what was the name? It was, I don't remember the name to be very specific right now, but
OpenAI,
it's something very similar to Claude. I'll
OpenAI,
remember the name.
ChatGPT.
No, not ChatGPT. It's something else.
Yeah.
It's agentic,
Okay.
more of an agentic
Agentic.
AI tool. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It'll come to mind. I'm very highly dependent and reliant on Claude, and this is why uh, I cannot remember the name even.
Okay.
So
And yes,
let's.
I like it. Yes, the problem with Make is it's quite bulky and you have to handle it. I like the fast agentic features in ChatGPT and Claude a lot because you can do it on your desk. On It's like a calculator at hand. And if you,
Mhm,
for instance, I had at the beginning of the year, I had a lot of inquiries, up to 3 inquiries a day, and I found
mhm,
myself writing proposals for hours a day. And then I thought there must be a better way using AI, and I just used ChatGPT with a custom GPT. Maybe
mhm.
I share this as well, if you would like
Sure.
to. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that.
So it's so easy to use this and also with your own data. And so what I just did is in a couple of minutes, it's so easy. I built a custom GPT. For this to do, you need a Plus or a Pro account in ChatGPT. You can't do this on the free plan. And I just built the quote generator. It's here. Yes, it's
Mm,
here. And it's very, very easy to do. You just have to give it a name and some custom instructions. Name, description, not important, but the custom instructions, what it has to do. And this is the systems prompt. So it always acts
mhm.
like this. So you're a friendly assistant. And then I just put as a knowledge base, I uploaded a Word document with my best quotes. So that's
Ah,
all I did. And now I just can paste into this chat bot an inquiry, and it gives me a well-structured, really, really good formatted proposal, and it researches before the background of the inquirer. So it does the same as your example or my prior example. It
mhm,
researches the background and matches it with my offerings, and I can send out the
mhm,
proposal as it is. I did the other day. I had an inquiry from an insurance company, and I received the email, and at 5 minutes, I could send a very well formatted proposal. And I called them, and she was so amazed, and she said, "Oh, it's so great what you did there. Did you use AI?" And I said, "Yes, of course, and I will show your teams how to do it." Yeah, that's it. And it's sometimes it's so easy. You just have to know what to do, of course.
Yeah, you
But
have to know what to do exactly. I can totally relate to that. From my experience, what I do, I do not try to depend on ChatGPT for that kind of those kind of workflows. To be honest, what I do instead is I have a skill inside Claude that is already aware in the knowledge base of my services and what I offer and the kind of packages that I do.
yeah,
So the great thing here that I don't think ChatGPT can do that. Um, the great thing that in this workflow is that it's already connected to Zoom. So I run all my discovery meetings on Zoom, and I do have the AI companion transcribe all the meetings for me. And during the discovery meetings, when I ask the potential clients questions about um, the challenges, the business impact of those challenges, and what have they tried so far, those kind of questions are very important to be included in the proposal, at least in the first part of it. So when I trigger Claude to create a certain proposal for me, it pulls this kind of data. It pulls the transcription. It knows the context of the conversation that went on beyond between me and the potential client online. So when you have this context and you're already also aware of the services that you have, you can create very, very tailored proposals to your potential clients, not just a generic one that is a list of the certain. You see where I'm getting at right here? It's when you feed it the context, it's it gives way better customization. It really shows the potential client where can we add. value here? Where is the ROI
That's
that will be achieved?
That's great. I would like to answer one comment,
Sure.
but afterwards, I would like to see this connection because I have another one I use for my meetings as I see the value. I'm working like this right now. I record every client meeting, and afterwards, I ask Claude, what are the points, and please generate my proposal out of that meeting. And the outline for a
Awesome.
keynote, for instance. Yeah. I
Great.
would like to share, but before I would like to see you on. But now we have
Sure.
somebody asking for NetN and OpenClaw. Maybe I
What do you
NetN
think
is
of
very
OpenClaw?
similar to Make. I like
Mhm.
Make more. I've experimented also with NetN. NetN is open source, and if you want to run AI on your computer, NetN is great. There are even more options like Hermes agent. I like more than NetN. NetN is a little bit complicated, and it's good for developers, but for sales teams maybe not. So it's more static, and there are less connections than in Make. So I would prefer Make, but NetN would be an alternative, and as open source also for free if you're willing and ready to
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah.
OpenClaw, I think is not an option at all because it's so insecure. I would never let something like OpenClaw on running on my machine. And we in sales, as you said it, we are handling relationships,
Mhm.
we're handling trust. And there's no easier way to to build distrust and to destroy your reputation using bad AI. And if you imagine you have an AI on your machine sending out some wild emails to your contacts on your behalf, I, I'm out. So I would not recommend using OpenClaw. If you would like to use an agent on your machine, please use Hermes agent. I'm not able to type into the comments. I'm sorry. Maybe you can do this for me, Taha. It is
Yeah. Yeah.
Hermes
Absolutely.
agent. This is also open
EH.
source, and it's really easy to use. You can have it up and running in about 5 to 10 minutes and using open source AI models on your machine, and it's really secure.
Absolutely. I just typed it in the comments. If you guys want to check it out, you
Mhm.
can do that. I don't know if you guys are interested in the kind of scenarios that Tim just shared here. If you guys want him to share any of that kind of stuff, just let him know in the comments. Uh, I see Tasneem here said yes, please. She's very eager to know how those scenarios are being built. So this is great. And yeah, I think this is it in terms of questions. If you guys have any questions, just let us know in the comments for Tim to actually.
Yes, we have. Does Claude understand the discovery meeting questions, even the client and the meeting in Arabic language? Tara, this one is for you, I think.
Yeah, I honestly tried it, and the great thing about Zoom AI Companion here is that you do not have to specify specific language for it. So you do not have to say that the transcription language will be Arabic or English. So whenever I try use a Zoom AI Companion as a transcriber, it says the Arabic words. It literally writes the Arabic words as Arabic words in Arabic letters, and the English words it writes them in English words. And I'm someone who actually involuntarily uses Arabic and English at the same time when I'm talking to my clients. So this is one of the very good things that I find um, in Zoom, that it understands Arabic and English at the same time. So you guys might want to give that a try. I tried Fathom, I tried Read.ai, but so far this is the best AI transcriber tool when it comes to Arabic that I found so far. So thank you so much for your question, Mikhail.
Okay.
Um,
So how
so
do you connect it actually? Also in Claude? can you connect the Zoom transcriptions to Claude, or how do you do it?
Yeah, I can show it to you right now. Let me just do that really quick here so that.
I'm not using this. I'm working with Zoom myself, and I offer my client Zoom, but half of my meetings are in MS Teams and Microsoft Teams, and
Ah,
so
okay.
I need an external transcription service like Fathom. I'm working with
Mhm.
Fathom for this. I would love to use just Zoom. I like Zoom a lot.
Yeah, I do like Zoom a lot. To be honest, I do not like to include third-party apps. I like to keep it simple as much as
Hmm.
possible, and this is what works for me. So this is Claude. I just entered in the customize area, Claude, and in the connectors section, I can just add browse connectors and then search for Zoom.
Great.
Here we
Okay.
have
Okay.
Zoom for
Yeah.
Claude,
Okay.
and there's the kind of thing that it does inside Claude. And one of those things is it allows you to pull transcripts from the meetings that you had, and this is how I do it. So
Okay. I would like to show how I do it in Make with Fathom,
sure,
and
we have a question
so
from.
yeah,
I'm just asking the question until you get the make scenario.
yeah,
Mustafa Ikram
sure.
is asking, how can I use AI to get potential B2B manufacturing customers from Egypt and Saudi? It's a very interesting
Yeah,
question.
yes. I would start using Perplexity and Claude actually with this question. Um, when you have a website, let's say for your company or for a certain product, landing page or something like this, the first step I would do is taking your website, your landing page, or maybe a PDF brochure or something, and upload it and ask one of your AIs of confidence, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, for the perfect company, perfect account, an ICP. This is the first step. And when you have this, then ask the AI in the next step to apply this ICP to Egypt and Saudi and tell you exactly and give you a list of 20 or 30 or 50 leads in that area. And this works tremendously well. And you will get real accounts that fall into this ICP and into your target group. And then you can also ask in the next step, third step, is for roles that will actually buy you.
Absolutely. I'm from my experience, Manus also does a very good job when
Mhm.
it comes to data scrapping. It pulls local data information from businesses, which is great as well. So you can use that. And if you have Claude connected to Apollo, or Apollo is not very good in the Middle East, to be honest, but you get the gist. If you can connect Claude to Clay or Apollo or tools like that that has an official MCP, you can use it to pull data and do list building for potential clients working in the manufacturing space in Egypt and Saudi. So thank you
Okay.
so much, Mustafa, for your question. Ahmed is asking, can you give us some use cases for Hermes and what differentiates it? So is
Yes,
it
I
all
can.
about data privacy, or is there anything else that differentiates Hermes from any
No,
other
it's
AI
all about,
agent?
yeah, it's data privacy, and it is there's something more, but this okay. It is the only agent in the market freely available. So in comparison to OpenClaw, let's say, uh, Claude is learning as well. Claude is learning really, really good, and it builds memory when you tell it to. And I highly recommend doing so. So when you do something on Claude and come back 2 weeks later, it will still remember. And it will build up that memory and will get better and better and
Um,
better understanding you. And Hermes does the same as an open source agent. And so it is learning and it's getting better with each interaction, and it is capsulated. So when OpenClaw is open and there are a lot of connections and tools you can use, and that is so dangerous about it. So there's so malicious malware in these tools, and Hermes doesn't use these. It just works with MCP, like Claude does, and you
Mhm.
can run it. And so you have data privacy, and you can run it on your machine, connect it via MCP to all your services, and run also a local AI with this. So this is the deal on it.
Okay,
And it may
awesome.
so it's data privacy, and it's a little bit it might be cheaper if you,
Mm.
of course, you don't have to pay for the AI tokens. And I don't know what's your experience, Taha. The tokens are, if you work a lot with AI, it's getting quite expensive.
It's getting a lot of quite expensive, and this is why recently I'm trying my AI stack. To be honest, is all around ChatGPT for content generation. It's really good at that, and Claude for different use cases. It's very flexible. I can do a lot of automation jobs with it. And GenSpark. GenSpark, I use it to for the website and adding. It's great. The AI developer in GenSpark is pure awesomeness.
Yeah, and what I
So
do is I think twice before I hand over a task to an AI, which model to use. Not always you have to
mhm,
use the latest model, and they're always the most expensive ones. So maybe
mhm,
for a certain task, as you've seen, when I research the background of a new appointment inquiry in my calendar, I use ChatGPT 4.1. It's quite old and it's really, really cheap, but just to split the domain out of the information there. So it's a very easy
uh,
task, and a very
gotcha.
old model does the job. And I can only recommend thinking about which model really does the job, and if you need the most advanced one, the most advanced one.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're totally right. But this is exceptionally right when it comes to dealing with Claude, because when we're
Mhm.
dealing with Claude, you're dealing with a very limited amount of credits. So if you're not being very sensible when it comes to choosing the right model for the right job, you can just run out of credits really fast. So
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
that's so true.
yeah, spot on. So let's continue with the use cases. Like you said that you use AI for generating proposals. What are the other areas that you think that AI can really be valuable and in the sales process and can actually do something and actually that is actually useful?
Yeah, let
And
me show you. I have two scenarios in Make that do
sure,
my outreach, and we have had the question how to enter markets or how to address manufacturing markets in Egypt and
yeah,
Saudi Arabia. I will show you my tools that I use for research and for um, the first one is the prospector called,
uh-huh.
and
There we go.
this one just Make has two different ways of they have automated workflows using AI, and they have agentic workflows, agents. This is an agent actually in Make. You build this core here, and what I like very much about this idea is that you can change the AI behind it. You can actually the core here in the agent right now is GPT 5.4, but you could use Claude, Gemini, Azure with AI models, Mistral from France, Cohere, Grok, XAI, Amazon Bedrock. And so if you encounter another model more capable or cheaper or whatsoever, you don't have to build a new workflow. You just change the underlying model here. Quite easy. And
Mhm.
so this is the agent, and it has some tools, and the agent itself decides which tool to use. Really easy. It has access to the web, of course, and here to Perplexity to do the research. I've connected Hunter.io to find emails, and I have a
Mhm.
Google Sheet to collect the emails, to actually have an overview for me as a human where we are heading right now. And this is as Perplexity or ChatGPT here might hallucinate. I've here another module to just double check the outcome. So if it is
Mhm.
right, and this produces a list of 10 new leads per run. And it is just the prompt is like you're an experienced sales researcher, and your task is to research 20 medium-sized enterprises in Europe that have larger events. This is for me as a keynote speaker. Once you identify
Mhm.
one, you identify the person responsible for the speaker bookings. We need roles and names. Use all your tools to find a name. And if you have a name and company, please double check them with ChatGPT. And everything is put into the Google Sheet. So I run
Mhm.
this, and at a couple of 20 minutes, I have a list of 20 new leads in that Google Sheet. This is the first step. And the second
Mhm.
one is the tool that writes the outreach for me.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is the outreacher I've called. This is a little bit different because this is triggered by a new row in the Google Sheet. And when a
Mm.
new row is entered, then ChatGPT takes it and what does it? You're an experienced researcher. Please research the background. So this is another background research.
Mhm.
And then this agent, and this is Claude in this case. Yeah, this is Claude
And
with the
product,
latest
yeah.
model, because this is, of course, writing a sales email is one of the most valuable tasks here. And
Oh.
it matches me, and it writes the email as a draft. Not for me. And in that case, I have an AI assistant. It's called Rick. Rick has been answering all of my emails for the last 15 months without me supervising it. It was really great. And I started sending out outreach emails, cold outreach, using my AI assistant. So it's not me, it's Rick. And Rick is writing with its own email address the outreach for me. And it just asks for pointing me in the right direction for whom Tim Cortinovis might be interesting. And it writes the draft and
Mhm.
just puts the draft here to Gmail. And so I can go through it on Gmail and send it out if I think it's good or not. And the email is taken from the prior process from the prospector.
Awesome. So you're not allowing it to send the email. You have to review the emails and drafts before you
Yes,
send it.
still, I'm experimenting with it. The problem here is the resets are really good. I could put it on autopilot, really,
Mm.
but no, it's very specific. My problem is that it also has some German companies in it, and and right now it is not able to decide whether on the company name, and the it's difficult for me to decide whether, and it looks a little bit awkward if I would write a German company with an English email. Possible, but
Oh,
here it is awkward. It might be the same in Egypt or in the Middle East.
well, here the main communication language is Arabic, but
Mm.
most of the people here in the Middle East do know how to speak English. So English is mainly might be the business language when it comes to communication. So even if I'm talking to someone who's an Arabic person from Saudi,
Yeah.
Egypt, or the UAE, I can send them the email in English, and that would be fine. Um,
Okay. And in Egypt as well? If you send an Egypt person,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
we're here
Here
in
too.
Egypt. We talk in Arabic, and
Hmm.
usually for the business language, we use English. So this is what
Okay.
we do. But I know
Okay.
that Germans are particularly have a close affinity with the language. So
Yeah.
they might know they know English, but they would prefer to talk in German.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's
this
yeah,
this is great. I love that, by the way. I love it when people are very close to their nationality and heritage and language, which is a part of the culture. So
yeah.
so this is what happens here. Okay, so I did a very interesting challenge with my team a few months ago. It was based totally on that. So you know how outreach, when you want to get cold email replies to cold emails, you have to send hundreds and thousands of emails to cold lists only to get like a few replies. This is usually how it goes. But when we used Claude to actually do a background research about each company before sending the email, research about the company and the person we're sending this email to, out of 18 emails we sent in one day, we got replies for like four or five.
Oh,
This
that's
is
quite good.
this
Yeah.
is great. I didn't even use Smart Lead or Instantly for this specific challenge because I will send those emails using Gmail, exactly how you would send any normal email, and you would still get replies when you do the research and when you write a specifically personalized and relevant email to the target persona. So from my experience, this is one of the things. This is one of the hacks. If you want someone to respond, you can actually delegate to AI something like Claude to do the research for you before you actually send the
Yeah, so
outreach message.
this is what I observe as well. I have a very good ratio like like yours. Mine is very similar, and this is because I'm very specific. The outreach is really telling the people what they know. For in my case, this is events, and I'm asking for a specific event in the future. So there is a connection from the very beginning. This is not generic. Hi, I'm a good speaker. Would you like to hire me? So nothing at all.
Mhm.
This is really specific, and the AI does it at scale. It's
Yeah,
just so amazing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of things that AI can do at scale,
Yeah.
um, let's talk about more use cases. What do you have in mind? Where do you think AI can add value? Where else?
Yes, for instance, we had machinery before as an industry. I know in a lot of industries you have huge proposals, so very large documents, and
Yes.
sometimes your clients ask you to be competitive with a competitor, and they hand over your proposal of 500 pages from a competitor, and
Mhm.
so you don't have to go through it anymore. You can compare it using an AI and ask it where are the differences and what can you highlight for your customer that you are the better option, and how to
Mm,
argue. And of course, negotiation. Yes, you can also use it to be a better negotiator, as you can ask for the arguments. How can you, if your a client asks for a discount or another price, you can learn the answers from the AI, and also, and
mhm,
this goes in the right in the same direction, you can use it to train you. I use, for instance, I do a lot of media interviews, so I use ChatGPT on my phone, and I talk with a voice mode on my phone, and I ask it beforehand to train me for that interview and give me feedback. But I've done this also in sales teams, and you can do negotiation training or anything else. Yes, sales communication trainings using the voice mode or the chatbot, no matter
mhm,
what.
mhm.
So
Gotcha.
these are also some very good use cases. But I forgot. Taha, almost.
Mhm.
My favorite use case of all times. We have we
What
have
is it?
talked we have talked about it between the lines a little bit,
Okay.
but I have to mention it
What is
right
it?
now clearly.
Yeah.
So the idea is you can prompt the AI, Claude, to behave like your best customer, and you can go in a detailed conversation and ask your customer questions you never dare to ask. and you can.
Hmm,
I
interesting.
like it a lot, and I've built this in a lot of processes as well. I have one agent, and they're interconnected. And for instance, if I write a LinkedIn post, I ask my best customer if they like it and if they would read it, if they would interact, and so on, or how can I improve it. But for sales, you can use it, for instance, send a proposal or copy your proposal when you've prompted Claude, or you can use a Claude project or an OpenAI project
Hmm.
to return whenever you want. And in that project, you just put the prompt that it acts like your best client. And then you
Ah,
ask it,
okay.
do you understand the proposal? What don't you understand? How can I improve it? Would you go the next step with me? Would you make an appointment or not? Why not? Why don't you like it? What can I improve? You can do this with your sales communication, with emails, and also with your marketing material or with all marketing collaterals like
Hmm.
landing pages and so on. You can just paste in the URL of a landing page and ask it, do you like that landing page? Would you buy? Why won't you? Would you call? No, whatever. So this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
an easy use case, but it changes everything.
Yeah, I do love it, to be honest. You don't have to think about everything you send, either emails or proposals or anything, without having to put yourself in your customer's shoes in
Hmm.
order to evaluate it. So
Yeah,
I think this is very powerful.
yeah,
So let's say that one of the audience that are listening to us today is a sales manager or a BD manager, is sitting down and he wants to he saw the use cases, and he's really considering to make his team AI ready within like 90 days. What
hmm
would you recommend as the actual playbook for that in week one, week two? Like, how would they approach transforming their old school teams, their old school sales teams, into an AI ready sales team? What do you
perfect.
recommend?
Yeah, perfect question. The first one is you have, as a leader, you have to be another role model. I see a lot of leaders right now using AI a little bit below the table, coming up with tremendous results, but not talking about having used AI because
Mhm.
they feel ashamed, they have the feeling that they are considered lazy or something like this. No, it has to be the other way around. You as a leader, you must be the role model. Use AI and tell your people use AI too, and then have that tremendous results. That is the first thing. And then I would I would give all team members the possibility to experiment with it. I it's sometimes it's a question of money, of course, as licenses are costing money, but you have. I think you should pay for this, and you should not restrict the access. I have some clients, and they restrict the access to some team members might use the lighter version of Copilot, but the agentic version, just a few. And no, don't do this. Just give your people the possibility to access and to work with it and to really experience it. I've seen it myself. Okay, I'm into AI since 35 years, but I'm actually applying AI more in my companies for the last 7 years. And let's say what 3 years ago took me 2 days, today
Mm,
takes me 1 to 2 hours. And the results are even better. And it feels like working on inline skates. And
mhm,
you have to assure that everybody in your team gets these feelings, that they get things done. But, and this is really, really, really important here, at the same time, you have to assure that they are aware that there might be mistakes in it, that might hallucinate, that they don't
mm.
send out things without checking it.
Double
You
checking,
might put
yes.
an agent on autopilot like I did with Rick, but only when
Mm.
you're 100% or let's say 80% sure that the output is okay for what you're doing. So that
Yeah.
it's not melting your reputation. And And then I think I would start with easy tools. Like I said, you can use AI as a calculator on your desk. So
Hmm.
Claude, Claude and ChatGPT. And then when they're familiar with this and they have a feeling for which workflows to automate and where can you use AI really in your go-to-market team, then maybe think about in the next step at the end of 2 months, let's say, or so, yeah, 2 months, at 2 months' time, you should enter more sophisticated ones with Make, or you can use yeah, more with Claude or Make or other agentic platforms like
Mm.
Langdoc or n8n.
Yeah, gotcha. This is clear. So this is what they should do. Let's talk about a little bit about what they shouldn't do. Like, what are the most common mistakes that teams do, like when they decide what to automate and
Yeah.
what they shouldn't automate? Do you have
I
any
see,
thoughts on that?
yeah, yes, I have really. I see leaders making this mistake over and over again. It's called automation, and they think it's running automatic. So they put it, and they expect autonomy after 2 days, after 3 days. So expecting
Mm,
autonomy too early is really, really
mm,
dangerous there, and it will stall. And if you you don't need to overthink it. That's not the point. But you shouldn't. Uh, I must say, I also work a lot, and I have my mind in a lot of directions, and I'm as an entrepreneur, I'm really happy if I get one task done, and okay, so next one. But
mm,
please don't do this with AI. So you should get familiar with it. And for two reasons. The first one, of course, as we mentioned, it still hallucinates. It can go wrong.
mm,
And the second one is, and this is even worse, it is developing so fast that really
mm.
what works today might not work tomorrow. That's also a challenge,
Yeah.
and you might experience yourself, Taha, and
Hmm.
you have figured out a good way, a good workflow for you using Claude or whatever, and then after 4 weeks, uh, there might be a better solution,
Hmm.
or your solution does not work anymore because Claude changed something or whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree more. One of the things that I'm most like, AI can do all those cool stuff, and those all great use cases. But one of the things that I'm mostly afraid of is people will become too dependent on AI that they might actually lose the science behind doing things like that. So, like when we're trying to create proposals, we can easily give AI the skills and the logic of how to create a killer proposal. But what if, and this actually happens sometimes, like Claude or ChatGPT, sometimes outages happen. So the system is completely down for a few hours. And then when this happens, it becomes even more clear. Like, what would you do if AI disappeared tomorrow? Would you be able to send quality proposals as you used to do that, or you're just handing over your entire brain to AI and not even thinking about it? So this is what gets me afraid about using AI. To be honest.
I'm not that worried about that point because we see this in every aspect of our life, and our ancestors
Mm,
needed to make fire, for instance. Okay, this is the most
mhm,
basic example. They had skills to make a fire even in the woods with a stone and with two stones, let's say. And we are mostly not able to do this anymore.
mm,
Or we have other areas. While driving, for instance, there are studies showing that a lot of people don't know their own city anymore because they rely 100% on Google Maps. So,
mm.
yes,
Okay.
you're right. We're handing over our brains and our tasks, but although there are outages, I don't think that AI will go away anytime soon. And even there might be restrictions from the US that outside the US, the American models are not usable anymore, like with Claude Fable, for instance,
Yeah,
like this. Um, we have alternatives. We have Chinese alternatives. We have Indian alternatives. We have European
yeah.
alternatives. So there, I don't think that AI will disappear. And no, I think we should rely on the technology, and we should not fear that we lose competences we might use in single cases. But
Oh, interesting. That
so
makes
the
sense.
yeah.
It
And
does make
even
sense.
more, I think, and this is something I observe in every
Mm,
innovative technology. So it's AI and maybe extended reality and so on. We are able to give tasks to people that are not that trained on a certain task.
mm,
In machinery, you see this a lot with a AR headset. You can give somebody, you can a service technician, for instance, can repair a machine without the knowledge, the deep knowledge on that machine, because another person or an AI guides them using it, using the AR system. And
mm,
I
mm.
think in a lot of parts you are able to and I see this in myself as well. I can do right now tasks I'm not really trained on. I, okay, the problem is I can't really have an idea of the of the outcome, if the outcome fits or not. That's
Mm.
the challenge there.
Yeah,
But I think AI will enable more people doing jobs they're not highly trained on.
I do agree with you on that. Let's just hope this never happens.
Okay.
So, so Tim, you've been talking about AI in sales since 2011. 2011, I claim that at this point, not a lot of people have heard about AI in this specific context. All there was deep learning, machine learning, and generative AI is just a few years old. So looking back like 15 years ago, what do you see today that you would never have predicted back then?
Yes, I see right now that is this is at our fingertips. 15 years ago, that was possible for large, not mainframe computers, but large computers, and you needed a lot of computation and machine learning, and you needed really data scientists to make sense of it, and it was quite complicated. And now
Mm,
everything, this is what we see everywhere in technology, but now uh, every one of us can use AI on your mobile device um, with heavy computation, and I've I've not seen this coming there so fast. I've
mm,
seen coming,
mm.
um, as I said, I've been into AI for the last 35 years. I started as a very young nerdy boy with my first computer, and I got interested and I read then a lot of books around AI. The topic is not new; it's 85 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And I started studying computer linguistics, and I left university with a degree in 2001. And there was a huge movement believing
Mm.
in computer linguistics could solve the problems and could actually build something like Alexa.
Ah, okay.
It turned out it was the wrong direction, but there
Mhm.
was a in the scientific community there was a huge belief in possibilities. And then in 2010, some inventions were made with a
Okay.
pre-trained with the GPT in ChatGPT, and that
Mhm.
made everything possible. But So it was a long
Mhm.
way still until ChatGPT and so on.
Yeah.
Um, Yet, but it was a long way. But it all c comes down to being more accessible, being more affordable for everybody of
Mhm.
us, and being usable. And yeah, yeah, we are now at the point. Um, the interface. I think for every
Mhm.
technology, the interface is key for adoption. And 15
Mhm.
years ago, there were no interface. You had to have
Yeah.
really developers, yeah, with machine capabilities.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's just take a few questions, and I want to ask you one last question about your book, by the way, because I'm really excited to look into it and see what you have developed. Like someone who's been talking about AI in sales for this many years. So Mahmoud here is asking, like, I'm not an AI expert, but I am just a call center manager. What steps or learning path would you recommend to help me successfully build and complete projects using Innate and Manos?
Yeah, that's quite
Interesting.
simple, Mahmoud. I would recommend just starting asking an AI chatbot. I've learned myself a lot and just ask Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini how you can do it. And as they're trained on a lot of technical data as well, they have a lot of knowledge
Mhm.
around N8N and Manus as well. And so, yes, I would start there. And of course, YouTube videos. You will find everything on YouTube. And it helped me also to learn Make, for instance. Yeah, that would be the way.
Absolutely. Cannot agree more. And there is an Arab guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or not. He's called Kareem. He made a very good YouTube playlist explaining N8N called N8N with Kareem. I can just provide it to you right here on the comments. You can just look him up on YouTube. There is a playlist. I watched a couple of videos in it. It was great. It's worth the watch. You can learn from that as well. So Muhammad Khalafallah is asking, could we know how much lead is could you get from the agent and how much the price? This is very subjective. It depends
Okay,
on the
I think this
tool and
refers to the outreach tool. And
mm,
yeah, as I said, the quota is quite good. So there are lots of answers. And the price is for the tokens of OpenAI and Claude and the make scenario. You have to pay for make for the runs. So when a scenario is run, you pay for one run, but for the modules. Let's it's roughly I pay 35 euros a month for credits for 20,000 credits, I think, and make works with credits. And it works and adding the token costs, I think we're talking about something around 80 to 100 euros a month for roughly 400 leads. 500, maybe 1,000, more or less. It's like this.
mhm. Okay. One last question about your book. The topic of the book is very interesting. I cannot wait to read into it and see what you have to say about it in the different use cases. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I've written. Just one moment. I think I have to adjust the lighting. It's quite low here. I will be back in a minute.
Yeah,
No, in
sure.
less than a minute. Sorry
Okay.
for just. Can I? No, I can't. Just I have to adjust the
Okay.
lighting.
Okay.
So okay. So um, yes, AI agents and sales. And this is I've assembled everything we've talked about in this book, and just described also where you should put the guardrails, how to tell the agents what to do, what not to do, and how you define the outcomes. And what we've not mentioned so far, in a lot of cases, you need some examples like with my quote generator. I've given
Hmm.
it examples of what I expect from it. So this book
Hmm.
is all around this the agent framework, how to build these agents, how to think about in which area build it, and what to think about to get the outcomes you need, and then it actually gives you the whole framework to build it yourself. So, and it's 130 pages. Yeah. I would like to share here
Yeah, sure.
the yes, you can buy it right here. So yeah, that's it's AI agents in sales. Your
Hmm.
your sales force is getting colleagues, not tools. As this is my, I'm very convinced about this that these agents are actually colleagues, and you will get everything what you need and to build yourself. You don't need a developer team. You don't need month-long IT projects. It's quite easy, as you've seen in our conversation today. So, and it's on that web page, it's cortinovis.de /AI agents and sales book, or with the QR code you see here.
Okay,
So,
I'll paste the comments in the comments section for you guys if you want to take a look into it.
okay.
Um, so we have one last question. We can just wrap it up. I know it's been 1 hour and 17 minutes already. Noor here is asking, what is your thought if I want to test our internal AI against other AI like Claude and ChatGPT?
This is interesting, Noor. Um, Yeah, one thing would be to give the outcome of your AI to Claude and ask it for feedback. That might work. I don't. There's some benchmark platforms like AI Arena, where you can find some benchmarks for the AIs. Maybe they have a test to download to test your AI. I'm not really familiar with this because, no, I'm sorry. That would be my idea. Ta, do you have something to add?
uh, Test our internal AI against AI like Claude and ChatGPT. If I'm just off the top of my head here, if what do you mean by internal AI? If you can just let us know in the comments, that would be great. But I'm guessing here internal AI, you might be talking about local LLMs. So this might be considered as an internal AI tool. So it's not on the cloud per se. So if you want to test your internal AI against other AI tools or LLMs like Claude or ChatGPT, you can just test the basic tasks to both models. So this actually happens a lot whenever I try to assess the quality. You know how LLMs develop all the time, and sometimes you cannot cope with the amount of updates that are happening to LLMs every day, Claude and ChatGPT and Perplexity and so on and so forth. So what I usually do if I want to ask to test a certain LLM is I open like Claude in one window and ChatGPT on another window, and I ask it this exact same question here and there, and then I audit the quality of the answer in both sides. And when that happens, it gives you a pretty good idea about when you do this task the next time, you're not going to be testing this time. You're going to go straight to the tool right away. Like, for instance, from my experience dealing with different LLMs, I only use ChatGPT for content generation. It's really great at that. And however, Claude is very powerful. I cannot use it when it comes to creative copywriting. It's not good at that at all. However,
That's interesting. I use it a lot for copy. Okay, so it's different. Okay.
it's different. Maybe you
Mm,
maybe I haven't worked out a certain workflow. Maybe because I've been using ChatGPT for quite some time, so it has a lot of context on what I do. So
Yeah.
this is judging from my experience, and it's totally normal because if you and I ask ChatGPT the exact same question to the letter right now, it's totally normal to have a totally different answers. For someone with an engineering background, this is totally confusing for me. If you're giving the exact same system, the same
Yeah.
input, you should be expecting the same output. If you have two different outputs, this is confusing. I cannot
Yeah.
rely on things like that.
No, that's not. Yeah, it's not
But
acceptable. And the point is, why should you test it against? I think if the results of your internal AI do the job and they work for you, it's pretty good. You don't need the to testify that it is as good as Claude, for instance.
yeah, for me, it's just I know what task to give to which LLM. I think this is the
Yeah,
key.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
Um, So, thank you so much, Tim. It's been a blast. I really enjoyed having you in the webinar series. Thank you so
So
much
did
for
I.
joining.
This was great being on your show, Tara. Thank you so much. I would like to come
You're
back
totally welcome.
one day.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You're totally welcome. We can definitely do that. Talking about AI is never ending. The use cases are huge. I didn't even get to half of the questions I'm preparing for today's show.
Yeah,
So, okay, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. For you guys who didn't register for the webinar series and want to get notified in each webinar that we have on, I'll leave a link down in the comments. You can just register and fill in your information, and whenever we have a webinar series, whenever we have a webinar in the webinar series, you'll get notified, and there will be a calendar invitation will be sent to your email address. So if you are interested on that, if you want to have notifications coming your way, you can register. And other than that, thank you so much, Tim, for the time and the insights. And I think that's it.
yeah. Thank you, Tara. It was a real pleasure talking to you. All the
Yeah,
best
same
and
here.
see you soon.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.